Greetings fellow guitar travellers, it's Rhoads J. Parker here once again with another Lick of the Week. Now on last week's Lick of the Week we did a Randy Rhoads influenced, inspired lick, and Randy is far too good and influential a player to leave at that, so we're going to do another lick based on his playing. This time we're going to explore some of his legato playing. So in line with my promise not to make Lick of the Week too impossibly difficult, we won't peg the tempo so high, but it will be an insight into how to develop legato playing and some of the things that Randy used in his solos. Again, if you want to check out Mr. Crowley, great example of these sorts of ideas in actual use, and that's what I recommend you do. Before we get into lick, I'd like to encourage you to head on over to my website, which is www.rhoadsjparker.com. There's a whole ton of guitar stuff on that site, most of which is free, and you can download a lot of it. There's also a shop if you feel inclined to buy things. Alright, let's get right down to it. Lick of the Week, more of the incredible Mr. Randy Rhoads. Short and sweet, but there we have it. Okay, well, we hope you enjoyed that. And just to say that Randy Rhoads was probably the first properly good electric guitar player I heard. Well, after he played guitar for about a year, I heard him play and I just was blown away with what he could do. Never heard anything like that at all before. And a major early influence, so all homage to him. He is a pivotal figure in the development of advanced rock guitar playing. So let's look at this lick, this legato lick. So first of all, I'll go ahead and show you the two separate scale fragments that comprise the lick. Here's the first one, sounds like. And then the second one. And this is based on an idea which I like to call mirrored octaves, which sounds very complicated, but all it means is that we're going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 notes and then just play them an octave higher. So let me give you the precise verbal tab for each mirrored octave. Here's the first one. It's low E 1, then 3, 5, A 1, 3, 5, D 2, 3, 5 and G 2, 3, 5. That's our first octave, and here's the second octave. On the D string, D 3, 5, 7, G 3, 5, 7, and then B 5, 6, 8, and then high E 5, 6, 8. Alright, so that's the second one. Okie dokie. Now the articulation here is all hammer-on, so the way we're going to deal with this is we pick the first note and then I'm going to hammer down the other two notes. So it's pick, hammer, hammer, pick, hammer, hammer, pick, hammer, hammer, pick, hammer, hammer, and so on. So when you play it quickly, it should come out sounding like a semi-quaver triplet. Biddly, 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 biddly. What you might find initially is if you're unfamiliar with hammer-ons, you'll find you'll rush the hammer on. It'll sound like biddlet, 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 biddlet. So be very careful not to do that. Also, don't pick too hard and try and make the notes that you hammer on roughly the same volume as the notes that you pick. So it all sounds pretty much of one dynamic. So that's another thing to be mindful of. And the other thing to point out is really the fingering, because obviously at the very beginning it's quite a wide stretch, and again if you're not familiar with this sort of expansion it'll probably feel quite uncomfortable, but the way I'm fingering that is finger 1, then finger 2, then finger 4, and then the same on the A string, 1, 2, 4. I call this interval a wide stretch, or just a stretchy. So you ever hear me calling it a stretchy again, you know what I mean, wide stretch. And then it's just conventional one finger per fret. For the D and G strings, it's fingers 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. So fingering for the first octave, it's all the same fingering actually. 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. When we move into the second octave, it's the same again. It's 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. Alright, and that's how you play that particular part. It's not too difficult to grasp, you just maybe have to work on the articulation a little bit to try and make sure it sounds nice and even like a triplet, biddly, 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 and not end up sounding like diddly, 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 diddly. which is something that if you just get into hammer-ons and pull-offs, that's what happens, it doesn't sound even. Alright, well that's the run, and let's just show you very briefly the little thing at the end, which is nothing really, just put it in as a way of resolving the line. I'm playing high E10, B10, G10, and then this little hammer-on and pull-off figure, a little ornament really, which I do often. And that is on the G string, we're going to go G9, 10, 9, 7. Okay, and pick, first note, hammer on, pull off, pull off. See, this little thing is a great left-hand exercise in and of itself, which I show you on one of my legato videos. So if you're interested in this sort of style of playing, just to briefly plug one of my videos, I have a video which is all about legato playing, which is called Hammer Time, part of the Licking Impossible series of videos that I do, which is all about developing left-hand dexterity for this sort of legato playing, which is ultra cool. So this is just a brief taste of this sort of playing, and this is how I initially started to develop legato playing, through hearing Randy. So like I say, major influence, and you know, hats off to him, he was one of the true greats. Well, that wraps up for this week's Lick of the Week. Very short and sweet. If you want to get in touch with me, otherwise, apart from looking at the website, you can get in touch with me on Facebook. Facebook page is Rowan J Parker, which you can like if you like. I'm on SoundCloud at Rowan-Parker. You can find me on Twitter at Rowan J Parker. I'm on YouTube, of course, because you're watching it. The YouTube channel is Rowan J Parker, and don't forget the website www.rowanjparker. So the rest of boring you, it's basically Rowan J Parker, blah blah blah, anything. Alright, well it's been very cool, I've enjoyed this one tremendously. Might even do another Randy lick next week because there's just so much cool stuff he did. Alright, well thank you very much, I've been Rowan J Parker, farewell!